Hare Krishna Mataji, I think it started the live. I see. Is that the recording? It says live?
Mataji, I have
Okay.
started.
Okay, thank you, Puja Mataji.
Vancha kalpatrubhishya kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Anant Koti Vaishnavant ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Today's quote on chanting by His Grace Srila Prabhupada. In whatever condition you are, chant Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Today we are so fortunate to have Her Grace Vanmalini Manjiri Mataji from Iowa, and today Mataji will enlighten us on Srimad Bhagvatam. Hare Krishna Mataji, please take over the call.
Thank you so much, Puja Mataji. Thank you all devotees for joining. My Dandavat Pranams to all of you. We are all very fortunate to regularly discuss about Srimad Bhagavatam and associate with devotees. Most importantly, we may be reading, but reading in the association of devotees and discussing, having question and answers is all very important, as Shastra needs to be read in detail. We start with Mangala Charan prayers. Om Ajnanathimmirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Deva Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupah Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamsham Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakanvitam Sri Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpati Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tatta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusuti Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Krupa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gauravasamandam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet. So we are reading chapter 6, canto 6, chapter 18 from Srimad Bhagavatam and verse 35. So the context is Dithi, after her two sons, Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, are killed by Supreme Lord, is now trying to beget more children who can kill Indra. So she is serving her husband in a way that he is pleased, and he does get pleased even though her behavior is having an ulterior motive, and it's not regular behavior by her. She's artificially trying to please him for certain time. he gets pleased by her, and then he asks her to ask for some benediction. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura point out 3 meanings of this story, which we have discussed in the last session. One is by performing tamasic bhakti with the goal of harming others. So Diti is trying to perform a tamasic bhakti. Husband is considered as a representative of Supreme Personality of Godhead, and for fulfilling any desires, wife, if she is devoted to the husband and if she will worship him, she will get those benedictions, because that's the biggest responsibility of a wife. So here Diti is performing a tamasic bhakti because she has thought of killing Indra. But even though we are full of faults, and when we take up bhakti, like how a fire burns the hand, whether we touch with or without knowing the nature of the fire, in the same way, bhakti will purify us, and then we will develop, we will purify ourselves, and the tamas nature in our bhakti will be rectified, and when we get liberation, and we try to give up the tendency of hurting others. So we may be starting with a tendency of hurting others, but when we start sincerely performing the bhakti, that thought in us will go away. So that's why we should always practice bhakti in all situations without giving up. That is going to do good for us. And also another thing that we can see is we are very smart and intelligent to see the faults in others, but we don't see those faults in ourselves. And another third point, a third perspective is, however learned a person may be, he can be cheated by the attraction of a woman. So the attraction of the opposite sex is very strong. A learned person who knows to discriminate between right and wrong, who knows what is true and what is false, also gets carried away. So now the 35th verse. Tasmat pativrata naryaha sreyaskama sumadhyame yajantenya bhavena patimatmanamishwaram. Tasmat pativrata naryaha sreyaskama sumadhyame yajantenya bhavena patimatmanamishwaram. Tasmat, therefore, pativrata, devoted to the husband, naryaha, woman, shreya kamaha, conscientious, sumadhyame, o thin-waisted woman, ejanti, worship, ananya bhavena, with devotion, patim, the husband, atmanam, the super soul, ishwaram, representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, patim atmanam ishwaram. So pati, the husband, is the representative of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yajante ananya bhavena. So who worships him without any other, ananya bhavena, with full devotion. Preya kama sumadhyame tasmat pativrata naryaha. So translation, my dear wife, whose body is so beautiful, your waist being thin, a conscientious wife should be chaste and should abide by the orders of her husband. She should very devotedly worship her husband as a representative of Vasudeva. So duty of a devoted wife. She should always be devoted to her husband. Pativrata naryaha. Nari means woman. Pativrata. So she's having a oath of serving her husband devotedly and desiring the highest benefit. Shreyas kamaha. Shreya means like long-term benefit. So Shreyas kamaha, desiring the highest benefit, should worship her husband as Pati Atmanam Ishwaram, as a representative of her husband. So we should not be seeing husband as an individual person separated from Krishna. So we have to see him as a representative of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And most importantly, in the Varnashrama system, husbands or husbands always used to practice a sadhana, worship of the Supreme Lord, and wife generally helps, like husband is rendering service to the devotional service of to the Lord, like you have deities at home. So they share the responsibilities. So husband will be doing the arti, altar, taking bath and getting ready and all, and wife will take bath and cook prasadam, arrange everything for the worship of the Lord. So in that way, even though she does not separately do the arti and all, because she is assisting the husband, whatever the it's like assisting the devotee of the Lord. So they also render devotional service. Generally, it is not that only when we directly render devotional service to the Lord, it is devotional service. Even if we assist the devotees who are serving the Lord, Lord will be more pleased, because servant of the Lord. So wife here acts as a servant of the Lord, not like the servant of husband for sense gratification, or like thinking that he is somebody who is providing me all the material means, he's taking care of me. Not in that sense. Even husband should not be like, yeah, I'm providing you everything, so you have to be a servant to me. Here the center is Krishna. Husband is serving Krishna, and wife is serving husband to help him, to enable him, to make it easy for him to serve Krishna. So Pativata Naryaha. So a woman is always devoted to the husband, and she serves him, worships him as a representative of the Lord, as a spiritual master. So that is the duty of a devoted wife. Soham tvayachito badre idrugbhavena bhaktitah tamte sampadhaye kamam asatinam sudurlabham. Translation in purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Such a person, aham, I, tvaya, by you, architaha, worshipped, badre, O gentlewoman, idruk bhavena, in such a way, bhaktitaha, with devotion, tam, that te, your, sampadaye, shall fulfill, kamam, desire, asatinam, for unchaste woman, sudurlabham, not obtainable. My dear gentle wife, because you have worshipped me with great devotion, considering me as a representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I shall reward you by fulfilling your desires, which are unobtainable for an unchaste wife. So Kashyapa Prajapati, Kashyapa Muni is saying like, Asatinam Sudurlabham. So those wives who are not devoted, who don't worship their husband, they cannot attain these benedictions. So I'm going to give you those. Asatinam Sudurlabham. Asati is like for an unchaste woman. Tamte sampadaye kaman. I will fulfill your kamam, desire. Idruk bhavena bhaktitaha. So he have worshipped me with great devotion, considering me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as a spiritual master. So if we see many devotees who have this unflinching faith on the spiritual master, like Esa Prasada, Bhagavad Prasada. So they serve their spiritual master by taking their instructions as heart and soul, and then they progress, they attain Krishna Bhakti. So here, since husband is the spiritual master, we see how Diti is, with her great devotion to her husband, pleased her husband, and now her husband is promising her, like, I will fulfill your desires. Whatever the desire you have in mind and worshipped me, I'm going to fulfill that. Verse 37. Dithiruvacha Varado yadi me brahman putram indrahanam vrine amrutyum mrutaputraham yena me gati tau suthau. Dithi Vacha. Dithi said, Varadaha, the giver of benedictions, Yadi, if me, Brahman, O great soul, Putram is a son, Indrahanam, who can kill Indra, Vrine, I am asking for, Amrutyam, immortal, Mrutaputra, whose sons are dead, aham I, ena by whom, me, my, Ghatitau were caused to be killed, Sutau, 2 sons. So now Diti is speaking. Diti is putting forward her request to Krishna, her husband. So the, excuse me, 35 and 36 does not have any purport. So that's why I did not read the purport. Diti replied, "O my husband, O great soul, Brahman, Varado Yadime Brahman, O great soul, Varade, give me a vara, give me a benediction. So, O great soul, I have now lost my sons. If you want to give me a benediction, I ask you for an immortal son who can kill Indra. I pray for this because Indra, with the help of Vishnu, has killed my 2 sons, Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu." So she is now putting forward her desire, which is causing harm to others. So Indrahanam, Prabhupada explains in the purport, the word Indrahanam means one who can kill Indra, but it also means one who follows Indra. The word Amrutyam refers to the demigods who do not die like ordinary human beings because they have extremely long durations of life. For example, the duration of Lord Brahma's life is stated in Bhagavad Gita, Sahasrayuga Paryantam Ahar Yad Brahmano Vidhu. Even the duration of 1 day or 12 hours of Brahma is 4,300,000 years multiplied by 1,000. Thus, the duration of his life is inconceivable for an ordinary human being. The demigods are therefore sometimes called Amara, which means one who has no death. In this material world, however, everyone has to die. Therefore, the word Amrutyam indicates that Diti wanted a son who would be equal in status to the demigods. So there is nobody, Abrahma Bhuvana Loka, there is nobody who will stay forever. Everybody has to go through the birth and death. So that's why pure devotees of Lord are not even attracted by going to the heavenly planets or to the Brahmaloka, because there also you have to undergo death. Especially the heavenly planets, once our punya karma is completed, we will be pushed down to the earth. So punye marthyalokam. So after the punya is done, we will be pushed down. So, but it appears as if the life is forever, amrutam, like they're going to stay forever. There is no death because the duration of their life is very long. Sometimes when we are enduring any difficult for a longer time, we feel as if it is there forever in our life. Even Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita, he tells to Krishna, I will, if I kill my uncles and Dronacharya and all who are my teachers, I may dwell in hell forever. So neither hell nor heaven will be our stay in those 2 places, will never be ever. Even in the material world, if we are facing any troubles, they won't be forever. Matra sparshastu kaunteya sitoshna sukha dukkada agama payino nitya stam titikshasva bharata. They are like seasons. They'll come and go. Like how seasons won't stay forever, how much ever we like. Spring doesn't stay forever. It summer follows spring, and then summer is so wonderful. We can do lot of activities outside and a lot of vegetation. We all will be liking without knowingly, without putting lot of effort, we will be active, but winter comes. So similarly in life, good or bad won't stay forever. So we just need to learn to teach ourselves tolerance, to wait until it changes. So sometimes because we feel it as if this trouble is there for me forever, we give up, we become impatient, even though we don't have anything to do in our hands. Sometimes some things after we have done whatever is in our hands, the only thing that will be is like waiting. waiting for the time to change the things. But instead of waiting, we get anxious and stressed and tensed, and we become restless. But with Krishna's mercy, with the support of the sadhana that we are doing, we just need to learn, teach ourselves patience and tolerance in this world of dualities until we grow above these dualities and we transcend the dualities. So for that, the only rescue that we have is the chanting of holy names of the Lord. So here, Diti's request is Hindra Hanam. So I want a son who will kill Hindra. And the other meaning of Indra Hanam is a person who follows Indra. And she wants an immortal son. So it is not possible to have a benediction. Brahma himself could not give to Hiranyaksha or Ravana. Anybody did not get a benediction of immortality. So they, with their own knowledge and intelligence, have put some conditions and thought that, oh, I won't be able, a human and monkey won't be able to kill me. So I will ask protection from all the other living beings. That's what Ravana thought. And Hiranyakasipu thought, oh, he's putting forward a formula in which nobody can kill him, not inside, not outside, we're not with a weapon, not human, not animal. So much he has put forward, and Narsimha found a perfect time and he killed. So Supreme Lord is always superior than anybody. He is superior in knowledge, strength, fame, name, everything. There is nobody who is more superior than him, more powerful than him. He is the controller. So Krishna, Supreme Lord Narayana, figures out a way, because this is the nature of the material world. Death is inevitable in this material world. Wherever we go, Brahma, Bhuvana, Loka, all the 14 planetary systems. So here the word Amrutatvam can be, so Prabhupada is saying that it is considered as, she is asking like a longer life, like the status of the Devi Devatas. So she wants a son who is not like a demon like previous, but now a son who is having a status of Devi Devatas. So earlier her two sons, because they were conceived at a wrong time, we all have a certain time for everything in life. We need to remember that. And also those timings, people think that, oh, what's wrong in that? I'm not a morning person, I'm a night person, I'll do. So if we don't sleep between 9 to 12, we are actually disturbing the circadian rhythm of our body. Our body is tuned to work better, give better produce when the sunlight. So sun is considered as the Pratyaksha Daiva. So we have to wake up before the sun rises and pay our obeisances to the Lord. And morning time is conducive for performing the devotional service to the Lord. Sattva-guna influence is more like how when we are in a remote place where there are no mobile towers, the closer we go to a mobile tower, we get a strong signal, strong Wi-Fi. The more we go away, the signal that we receive may be very less. In similar way, in the morning time, the Sattva Guna is more. So when we practice our devotional service in the morning time, when the influence of Sattva Guna is more on us, we will be more calm, free of anxieties and stress, and we will be able to focus on Krishna, because we woke up before the world woke up, and then we are not rushing. The moment, try yourself waking up late, then like 8, 9, by then the world has started. Those who are working, people start working and sending messages. Those who are not working also, world has started. So we are not prepared. So Diti conceives in a wrong time and she gets demons. So this time she wants a son who is having the status of a Devi Devata. So that is her request. So she puts forward her request to her husband. Verse 38. निसंयतद्वचो विप्रो विमानः पर्यतप्यत अहो अधर्मः सुमहान् अद्य मे समुपस्थितः.
Nisamya, hearing, Tatvachaha, her words, Vipraha, the Brahmana, Vimanaha, aggrieved, Paryatapyatha, lamented, Aho, alas, Adharmaha, impiety, Sumahan, very great, Adhya, today, me, upon me, Samupastitaha has come. So he is not happy. Kashyapa is not happy listening to Diti's request because she has a request of harming others. And he's not pleased by her request. Initially, he was pleased by her service and promised her that you ask me whatever benediction you want, I'll fulfill that, which may not be the case for an unchaste wife who did not please her husband. So harmony in family is understanding each other and going forward. But now he is not happy listening to her request. So upon hearing this request, Kashyapa became sorrowful, and then he started lamenting also. Translation. Upon hearing Diti's request, Kashyapa Muni was very much aggrieved. Alas, he lamented, now I face the danger of the impious act of killing Indra. So he's like, oh, Krishna, now I have to take responsibility. I will also share the sin of killing Indra, because he's the one who is giving the benediction to his wife. And he is one who is the cause of the children he is going to produce. So although Kashyapa Muni was eager to fulfill the desire of his wife, Diti, purport by Srila Prabhupada ji. Although Kashyapa Muni was eager to fulfill the desire of his wife, Diti, when he heard that she wanted a son to kill Indra, his jubilation was immediately reduced to nothing because he was averse to that idea. So now Indra is, Kashyapa Prajapati is thinking, Kashyapa Muni is thinking, oh, what did I say? What did I committed to her? All his happiness that he has got before by her service and everything is now went in an opposite direction. He is not happy with what she has asked. So that's why some people, we have a saying, right? Like when you are happy, you don't commit things to the people because you may not be knowing what you are committing. And when you are in a lot of sorrow or lamentation, we have to watch our words even more because we may be talking things that we don't really mean. So we always have to watch our words when we are happy or when we are sorrow. We say words which we really don't mean. We commit things which we will find difficult to fulfill. So this is the case of Kashyapa Muni right now. He is not at all happy with Diti's request of killing Indra because it's not a pious act. We know that she has this intention from the beginning. Paryatapyata. So he started lamenting. Verse 39. Aho artendriya ramo yoshinmayyeha mayaya grihita chetaha krupanaha patishyena rake dhruvam. Aho artendriya ramo yoshinmayyeha mayaya grihita chetaha krupanaha patishyena rake dhruvam. Aho, alas, artha indriya aramaha, too attached to material enjoyment, yoshitamaya, in the form of a woman, iha, here, mayaya, by the illusory energy, gruhita cheta, my mind being captivated, krupanaha, wretched, patisye, I shall fall, narake, to hell, dhruvam, surely. So now Kashyapa Prajapati is even more worrying, like what is the outcome of this? So he now starts lamenting or reflecting his thoughts on the nature of the woman. So he's like now worried, I will fall down to hell. If I give you this benediction, I will fall down to hell. So that is the situation. Patisye narake dhruvam. for sure I'm going to go to Naraka, the hell. So that is Dhruvam is surely. So Patishye, I'm going to fall down. Right now he is in an elevated position. Now he's saying that I'm going to definitely fall down to hell. Attached to material enjoyment. So translation. Kashyapa Muni thought, alas, I have now become too attached to material enjoyment. Taking advantage of this, my mind has been attracted by the illusory energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the form of a woman, my wife. Therefore, I am surely a wretched person who will glide down towards hell. So now he realized what did he do where he went wrong. He was attached to material endowment. Ardha Indriya Aramaha. Indriya Aramaha. So Bhagavad Gita tells like even the mind, even a person who can discriminate from right and wrong, a person who knows, who have complete knowledge of what is the right thing to do, what is not the right thing to do, will get carried away by his sense gratification. Even if we have one roaming sense that can take us to the path of falling down in our next lives, not able to discriminate between right and wrong. So the urge to enjoy our senses becomes so strong that we forget whether we are doing right thing or wrong thing. It's not that we don't know what is right and what is wrong. In Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter, Krishna says, an intelligence of a learned person gets carried away. Not like somebody who don't know what is right and what is wrong. If we don't know what is right and what is wrong, we can be excused. Our one mistake can be excused. And after we know right and wrong, in the first place, we have to know what is right and wrong. That is our responsibility. When we are driving on a road, if you go to a new city, you need to learn the rules and regulations. If we cause a bigger damage by not knowing, we cannot escape saying that, oh, I don't know the rules of this place. I don't know, I have to drive this way. And then I drove and then I cause an accident and cause a loss of life. Then we will be still responsible for that. Maybe our punishment may be reduced. But certain things can be excused. Like if you are driving, talking on a phone in a state where it is not allowed, you will be excused. So there is no generalized hard and fast rule. Everybody always thinks that what is an equivalent bad karma I have done when I'm suffering? What is an equivalent mistake? So there are so many parameters in deciding the things. So it is our responsibility to know how to live as a human. Because humans have been given a higher consciousness. Humans have been given a responsibility of knowing how to use this human body. What is the purpose that is behind getting this human form of life? Either I will spend my human form of life in eating, mating, sleeping, and defending, or I will be inquisitive about who I am, who is the Supreme Lord, what are the rules and regulations, what is the right thing to do, what is the thing not to. And sense gratification also should be regulated, should be always done within the limits of the Varna and Ashrama. Regulated sense gratification, that is the word Krishna uses and Prabhupada uses in the 2nd chapter of Bhagavad Gita. People in Grihastha are given a regulated sense gratification. So rules and regulations should be followed. Otherwise, we get carried away. We get carried away by our sense gratification. The more we are attached to the material things, the more we are going away from Krishna. We cannot travel on two boats. Many people think that I can discriminate right and wrong. Whenever it is becoming too much, the material enjoyment, I can pull myself off. Like somebody who is controlling the habit of drinking, he still accompanies the people who drink to the places where the drinks are served, thinking that, oh, I'm going to control myself. Should know that senses are very powerful and they can take away the intelligence of a person who can discriminate right and wrong. We should not be carefree thinking that I will win over Maya. Maya is servant of the Lord, and she's super powerful. So as long as we are in this material world, we are not free from her clutches. So we have to be always holding on to the feet of the lotus feet of holding on to the lotus feet of the Lord, and holding on to our weapon of chanting of the holy names of the Lord, and association of devotees, eating Krishna Prasada, and reading Krishna books. This is something which we should never ever give up, however difficult our day is, however busy we are. So today Puja Mataji's quote was like, whatever may be the situation, don't give up chanting. So this should not be given up at all. So we may be thinking that, oh, I'm engaging whole day in the service of Krishna only, so I can give up chanting. But we should find some time to chant and then go and do the service of Krishna, because if we are not purified, even though we are in the service of Krishna, we may bring materialism there, and we may start falling down there at a bigger level. Because if we are not protected with our sadhana, we may commit more mistakes. We may find more faults in devotees around us, and we may be puffed up with whatever vibhutis we have, whatever the good qualities we have, and then we may put down devotees more. So if we are engaging in a service, and that is the bigger service, then we have to equip ourselves even more tightly with our sadhana. So here Kashyapa Muni is saying, I have now become too attached to material enjoyment. Oh, what did I do? I know that she's going to come up with some kind of a wicked plan, but still I could not control, and I promised her. Taking advantage of this, my mind has been attracted by the illusory energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So here Maya won in the form of woman. So woman is one of the things that can take away our mind. It's just not a woman, but it's opposite sex. Even many Matajis, they also get carried away. Not like, I'm not saying in the sense that with the opposite sex, attraction towards opposite sex, that also happens. But the main important thing is love. They get carried away by the love, and they keep their devotional service in the behind. All the time we overly dedicate ourselves sometimes, like, we don't know to let go. We don't take out time for our own devotional service, which should be done. So therefore I am surely a virtuous person who will glide down toward hell. So Kashyap Muni is thinking that I'm definitely go down. Koti vartanya swabhavam iha yoshitah dinmam bata budham swarte yadaham tva ajitendriyah. Kotikramonuvartantya swabhavam iha yoshitah dinmam bata budham swarte yadaham tva ajitendriyah. Atikramaha, offense, anuvartantya, following swabhavam, her nature, iha, here, yoshitaha, of the woman, dik, condemnation, mam, unto me, bata, alas, abuddham, not conversant, swa ardhe, in what is good for me, yet because aham, I, tu, indeed, ajitendriyaha, unable to control my senses. This woman, my wife, has adapted a means that follows her nature, and therefore she is not to be blamed. But I am a man, therefore all condemnation upon me. I am not at all conversant with what is good for me, since I could not control my senses. So he's saying, like, I need to be punished. I need to be condemned for whatever I have promised, where I am not able to see the calamity that is going to come. I mean, the desire which is a destructive desire of Diti. So what offense is there if a woman follows her nature? Swabhavam iha yoshitaha. However, I am to be condemned. So Swabhavam iha yoshitaha. So generally women who are very devoted to her husband go to her husband with their desires. So she did a right thing there, approaching her husband with her desire, even though her desire is having is not completely right, because she wants to harm Indra. There is danger, but even when she wants to harm Indra, that is also driven by her love towards her children. So that's why sometimes, because women's love towards her children and husband is unconditional. So I've seen many people who are very innocent, not much educated, did not see outside world. Now that women are studying materially, equally performing with men in all kinds of fields, given an opportunity, but still love and affection dominates them, their nature. They will easily trust if somebody showers love and care, and they can't see the ulterior motive of the other person. They get carried away with love and affection. And I've seen many innocent women who are not much educated. For them, their life is children and husband and their own family. They don't go beyond that, because that's what they have been doing. That's what they have been serving, taking care of the family. So anything happens to that family disturbs them a lot. Like a lot, in such a way that even if their own children are doing wrong, they always think that no, children are right, maybe the opposite person is wrong, and they try to listen to the children. If children comes home and says that no, I did not do anything, that boy has done wrong, I'm right, then they start believing their own children, and they won't go further and inquire who is wrong. However educated, even here, if you see, if two people, your child and some other child, are fighting, a mother sees, then generally the mother heart goes to her children, like, so that is the nature of the woman, swabhavajam, that is the nature of the woman. So that's what here Kashyapa Muni is saying. This woman, my wife, has adopted a means that follows her nature, and therefore she is not to be blamed. But I am a man, therefore all condemnation upon me. I am not at all conversant with what is good for me, since I could not control my senses. So Kashyapa Muni is saying, I am at fault. I did not see what is right for me, whether I should give up to that attachment or not. She is not to be blamed. The natural instinct of a woman is to enjoy the material world. She induces her husband to enjoy this world by satisfying his tongue, belly, and genitals, which are called jihva, udara, and upastha. A woman is expert in cooking palatable dishes so that she can easily satisfy her husband in eating. When one eats nicely, his belly is satisfied, and as soon as the belly is satisfied, the genitals become strong, especially when a man is accustomed to eating meat and drinking wine and similar passionate things. He certainly becomes sexually inclined. It should be understood that sexual inclinations are meant not for spiritual progress, but for gliding down to hell. So, if we want to progress towards Krishna in our spiritual life, we have to control the sexual inclinations. Without the control of the three in line, nectar of instruction says, right, like vacho vegam. So from mouth, stomach, and genitals, all three should be always controlled to progress in spiritual life. Without controlling these three things, we cannot progress in spiritual life. So Krishna says in 5th chapter or 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, who eats too much or who eats too less will never become a yogi. So we have to control, regulatedly eat regulatedly talk only the things which are Krishna consciousness, the more we progress, the more we want to progress, we should know to jip our mouths when it is not a Krishna conscious topic, and especially not like gossiping around, carrying around the bad things. So it should be understood that sexual inclinations are not meant for spiritual progress, but for gliding down to hell. Thus, Kashyapa Muni considered his situation and lamented. So Kashyapa Muni knows that he got attracted to his wife as he was thinking of enjoying, and then that is taking him towards hell because she is now having a desire to kill Indra, and because he gives that benedictions to her, the sins of wife are shared by husband. So he is now he has to now take up the sin. In other words, to be a householder is very risky unless one is trained and the wife is a follower of husband. Wife is a follower of or her husband. A husband should be trained at the very beginning of his life. Kaumara acharet pragno dharman bhagavan iha. Bhagavatan iha. During the time of brahmacharya or student life, a brahmachari should be taught to be expert in Bhagavata Dharma, devotional service. Then when he marries, if his wife is faithful to her husband and follows him in such life, the relationship between wife and husband is very desirable. So, as we are saying, the Varnashrama Dharma is set so wonderfully by the Lord that the only duty of the brahmachari before 25 years is to acquire knowledge from the spiritual master, the Vedic knowledge of what is right, what is wrong. So now we have completely changed it into the material knowledge. So the first 25 years of life, people are acquiring material knowledge without any Vedic knowledge. So simultaneously, they should be taught the scriptures, what is right and what is wrong, what is dharma, what is adharma. So before he gets married, he knows what is right, what is wrong. And if fortunate, have a wife who follows him, who shares his interest. So she should not be having an interest separated from an husband who is completely educated, conversant with the scriptures, with Krishna consciousness. If she also shares the same interest, that life is desirable because together they will elevate each other. The wife and husband, together they will elevate each other to the higher consciousness, and they will deliver each other, and they will go back to the Krishna Loka. If opposite happens, if husband is Krishna consciousness and wife is not, then both of them are traveling in opposite paths, and it will be very, very difficult for them to progress, difficult for them to elevate their consciousness. They will pull each other down. However, a relationship between wife and husband and wife without spiritual consciousness, but strictly for sense gratification, is not at all good. So if Krishna is not center of the married life and only sense gratification is center of the marriage life, as we are aging, if the desires are not controlled, people suffer a lot. So I've seen people even at the age of 70, 60, because they don't share a common interest, and they're each one of them is attached to their own sense gratifications. Even though they live under the roof, they are not happy. They are not elevating each other towards Krishna, not even like to a better life, because they are still engaging. So Vanaprastha, after 50 years of life, our life should be engaged in Krishna's service with austerity and penance. So before 50, we may not be able to do so many austere things, because we may have children, sending them to schools, taking care of them. So we may not be able to follow a lot of austerities. But once after 50, when the age retirement comes, then we don't have those things that you have to wake up early in the morning and engage all the time in cooking prasadam for the kids, sending them to school. Now you can wake up in the morning and you can chant. You can dedicate your time for chanting the names of the Lord. And because now that you are retired, so you can cook peacefully later, prasadam, and offer and eat. So the whole day we can make our day busy fully in Krishna consciousness, having a nice planned day. So and a planned way. Like if you see, there are so many devotees who have deities in their house. So there are so many festivals. So every festival we can do an elaborate abhishekam to the deities, cook prasadam, cook fresh prasadam, and then morning and evening cook fresh prasadam to the Lord and then eat that. So if we have a day like this, our whole day becomes Krishna consciousness, even the Gruhastha life. But nowadays people are so perverted. They think that, oh, whole day I am just cooking, cleaning, offering, I'm not doing anything else. This is like this is like unnecessary labor, unnecessary washing dishes, and also I'll cook prasadam for 1 week and keep it in fridge and eat. So now you see so many people are coming and telling eating fresh food is important. We cook and eat within 3 hours. So that is very important for having a healthy life. And then we are, even though we are retired, we don't have anything pressing things like dropping, picking children, taking care of anything. But people still don't want to put that effort in cooking prasadam every day, taking care of the house. If we think all these things are material things, then we find them as waste. If we think that Krishna is in our house, this is the temple, my house is a temple, and I am in Golok Vrindavan, or I am in Vrindavan, and my house is Vrindavan, because a house which has Tulasi is equal to Vrindavan. We don't need to go to holy places all the time. If let's say we don't have that facility to go to the holy places, if we have a facility to go and live in a holy place, when we are living in a holy place, we have to be very careful. The scriptures say, don't live more than 3 days if you are not someone who has controlled your senses. Going there and staying more than 3 days and doing the things that we should not be doing will make us incur sins. So if we are going to holy places and we are living, we have to make sure that we are completely giving up our sense gratification and engaging our senses in the service of the Lord all the time. Then we can live for how many number of days. If we have a facility, we have an opportunity to go and live in a holy places, we should be doing that and engaging in Krishna's service there. If we don't have that, we should make wherever we are living that place a Vrindavan. So our house is a Vrindavan. If we have deities in our house, we can render service twice a day, thrice a day, cooking prasadam, making the things, keeping the house clean and kitchen clean, and cooking dishes for the Lord. So the whole day goes in Krishna's service. It won't be any boring when we think that we are serving Krishna and we read every scripture, like 10 minutes Bhagavad Gita, 10 minutes Bhagavatam, 10 minutes Chaitanya Charitamritam, 10 minutes we hear to the lectures of our Guru Maharaj, and 10 minutes to Srila Prabhupada, 10 minutes to another speaker. So already we have there 1 hour. Like that, with different things, we should engage our day. If we have more free time, we should not keep that free time free and have a phone in our hand. That's it. We are gone for the day. We should pack our day, whatever the free time we have, we should put Krishna's service in that. Some or the other service, challenging ourselves. If we want to speak, we should call someone and speak whatever we have read today. If we have a desire to speak one day, or everything, Sravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, all the 9 things, we should be planning in such a way that I'm chanting for some time, we are hearing for some time, we are doing kirtan for some time. So if wife and husband both are devotees, sit down and do kirtan for 10-15 minutes with your family, read together, chant together. So you have a companion with you all the time who reminds you of your devotional service and who does devotional service. Help each other. So that is the case. If not, both of us, there is no spiritual consciousness, but we are living only for sense gratification. That is not at all good. It is said in Srimad Bhagavatam that, especially in this age, Kali Yuga, dampatye biruchir hetuhu, the relationship between husband and wife will be based on sexual power. Therefore, householder life in Kali Yuga is extremely dangerous unless both wife and husband take to Krishna consciousness. So if we are not taking to Krishna consciousness and we are basing our life on material sense gratification, we get frustrated with each other very fast. Within 2-3 years, people feel like getting separated, as I'm finding somebody better than this person. So generally, we find faults in all the people. We find faults more in the people around us than people far away. Always they say, right? Grass is greener on the other side. We always think the other couples are very happy, or the other. If I live with another person, I will be more happy. Not with this person. So that is generally the mentality of the people. And the more people are attached to the sense gratification, and if that sense gratification is not provided in a relationship, they'll easily give up that. So nowadays, we see the requests of the young generation, though they are very funny. Like I was talking to somebody in a relative who's finding a boy for her girl, and she's an only girl. So she says, like, no, the boy should be the only boy. There should not be any siblings. Parents should not live with him. He should be earning this much package. The list is going on and on and on. Like the mother is thinking, I'm going to provide everything for my daughter so that she will never be unhappy with the person that I'm finding. Little we are knowing that none of the material things can give a person a full-time happiness at all. The more a person is having material things, the more they are inclined to the sense gratification. And when a marriage is completely based on sense gratifications and not on the Vedic dharma, the chances of having it successful is very difficult, because they expect the same from the other person also. So, and also we cannot give everything. Nowadays, the mentality of the parents is also like, I'm going to provide everything for my children so that they don't need to look for anything. I struggled a lot, so my children should not be struggling, and I'll provide everything for them. In this process, we are forgetting that whatever we are providing, we are thinking that what we are providing, everything is all material things. Material happinesses are temporary. They are not going to stay forever. So if we can give Krishna to our children and finding happiness in the devotional service of the Lord, whatever may be the situation, they are going to find happiness. And also, we should be educating the children to always find happiness in Krishna, and not easily like getting upset with the material things, not having a material thing and getting upset and giving up. So need to learn tolerance. So here Prabhupada, I'll conclude this session with the last point where Prabhupada is saying, therefore, householder life in Kali Yuga is extremely dangerous unless both wife and husband take to Krishna consciousness. So it is very, very important. Many of us may not be fortunate where both are Krishna consciousness. But if one of them is Krishna consciousness, then they have a bigger responsibility. If both are Krishna consciousness, practicing becomes little easy. If they both don't have ego and help each other. If only one is Krishna consciousness, practicing devotional life becomes little difficult, more challenging. But Krishna gets more pleased, because in any situation we are keeping Krishna in the center. Maybe we have to find more intelligent ways to practice our Krishna consciousness. But we have to remember that keeping Krishna in the center is going to give us more happiness in the householder life. So here Kashyapa Muni is kind of lamenting for his unintelligent act of telling to his wife that I'm going to fulfill your benediction, and she comes up with a benediction. she comes up with a desire of having a son who can kill Indra. And Prabhupada has translated Indra Hanam means a son who will kill Indra or a son who will follow Indra. So you will know later what really has happened. So I have touched until 40th verse. For tomorrow is 41 verse. Thank you all so much, Matajis and Prabhujis. If anybody have any questions or comments or corrections or feedback, please go ahead. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all grace to Sri Prabhupada. It was such a nice class. Thank you for your nectarian class and kind and purifying association. It was so nice to have reflected on the ways the current society deeply engrossed in the demonic ways of life view marriage, and you have nicely pointed out that Canto 12 predictions, prophecies for the Kali Yuga. Dampatya, I think you quoted Dampatya Abhirachir, right? So yeah.
Yes,
yeah, so that is perfectly summarizes what is happening we see around. And another one is also there, that is the purpose is sense gratification. Yeah, you're right. A lot of marriages are breaking because sense gratification is not there. As you rightly told that the parents are searching for prospective groom who are materially qualified but not spiritually qualified, not understanding this Kameshwar Nendriya Priti Lava Jivata Yavata Yasha Tattva Jigasha Nascha Yeva Karma Bhi. The purpose of life is to inquire about what is the purpose of life, and not and keep the body and soul together to the extent required to can keep Krishna pleased. Yeah, that is very, very important yeah, and the Western influence is also taking over India in a great way, and that is but the Mahaprabhu's mission is also balancing it to a great extent, and the nice features are coming up in India, and there's counterbalancing it in a nice way. Thank you, Mataji, for giving us the perspective from the Srimad Bhagvatam on the family constitution and the purpose of life. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhu. Krishna's mercy, Guru's mercy.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all good Sri Prabhupada Guru Maharaj. Mataji, thank you so much. Like Bharta Prabhu said, very nice class. And you explained so nicely and kind of settles in the mind. So the last portion that you were reading about, when the husband wife are following or only wife is following, is that from Bhagavatam right now you were reading or somewhere else?
I explained the Bhagavatam verse much. That is in Bhagavatam. 10:6.18.40. Prabhupada says that if the householder life is based on sense gratification, then if relationship is based on sexual power, then that is extremely dangerous for both wife and husband. That is Prabhupada's words, Prabhupada.
Yeah, that you read in the end of 40, right?
Yes.
Yeah. But you were also mentioning, is it in this purport only, the fact that if one is practicing, the other one is not practicing, or you were just saying?
I am explaining that, Mataji. I'm saying that if one is practicing and the other is not, the one who is practicing will have more challenges, right? That is my observation I've seen across the devotees. So they need to be, it's more, but I feel personally that even in those challenging situations, I see many devotees practicing so sincerely. I always feel that Krishna will be more pleased, because we generally show excuses to not practice. But there are so many beautiful devotees around. I have seen so many in these 22 years of devotional service, where very few you find both together. That's an ideal situation. Because I am a Bhakti Vuksha leader, and I see and people come and talk. So many times it will be only one person who is inclined and the other person not. So then they have a challenge, like, because they have to convince the other person to go and do devotional service or an attend program, and they can't do more. Like they tell me, like, Mataji, I can only attend 2 programs. If there is more than 2 in a week, I won't be able to get permission from, I won't be able to do that because my family won't be happy. So I feel like I appreciate them a lot because even normally also, if there is no common interest in a householder life, one is having a single interest, it becomes difficult to practice when there is no support from the house. So,
Yes,
so
Mataji,
that's
I was thinking that it's very true. And, generally for a person, who's not, and my own experience is there, although my husband is very supportive, but what happens is that because the same, one doesn't follow the same religion, ideology. So, there's always this fear in the mind of a person who's following that, I hope I'm keeping a balance, I'm not going overboard, or, the other person might think I'm ignoring the other person, or I'm too much gone into my own world. And there's always this thing, so I was just thinking that, yes, I mean, you have a compassion heart, so you think like that. But generally, when sometimes we also see that when husband and wife are devotees, and they want to give some services to you, they just because they are in that particular boat where both of them are doing services, there is not so much of a realization, uh, to see in a family where there's only one person practicing. You know what I mean? Like, there's a saying in India that if I have a nail in my shoe, then I will feel this thing. But if I don't have a nail, then I will not feel. I'll be like, my shoes are comfortable, I can walk and run. So yeah,
yeah,
thank
I'm fortunate enough. I'm fortunate to Krishna that I could see their inconvenience, and I always I appreciate lot them, and I encourage them. So that Krishna's mercy, that I can see that how challenging it is for them.
Yeah, like one time I remember I had met one Maharaj, Navyogindra Maharaj, and he told me, I don't see your husband come with you everywhere. So I said, well, he does his own practice, and his heart is not yet touched to the Krishna consciousness movement. So he says, okay, you do so like you said, there are more challenges. So you do 32 rounds, you do 16 rounds on his behalf. Now that is another challenge, Mataji. I mean, I know like Maharaj has given instruction, I should follow that, and on his behalf. But then what happens is that again, that fear comes in the mind that somehow in the morning I'm able to finish 16 rounds, and then 16 rounds more means sleeping a little bit more brahmura time I need, 4 hours I need instead of 2. And then what happens that, like, being a human being, I'll feel sleepy. Then my husband is coming from work, I'm like, there's so many things to take care of, like that. And even like DT seva, aarti, everything, it kind of falls on one person's head only. And so like there was one Mataji who said that I mean, it's very, very fortunate, it's very fortunate a situation when you as a young girl are unmarried and you have a choice of marrying a devotee. So there was one Mataji who mentioned the only expectation, since you had mentioned in your class about how this mother is a materialistic and she wants one son only. One son means that the son is only one, so everything will come to him only, all the property and everything of the in-laws. And so people have this kind of material mind. So she would only say that, yes, for 45 years in my life I will have my monthlies, right? So just that, like, I want a commitment that during those times at least my husband should be able to. So some Mataji or somebody conveyed to the Prabhuji, and he was like, of course, I mean, I will take up the services. So that Mataji was so dedicated that those times, cooking and all that, those devotional services husband can take up. And now of course they're married, and so she was mentioning about this. So it's really, I mean, a very, very good fortune. But I feel the very fact that a lamp is lit in the home, where even if one person is doing, or everyone is doing, or only some are doing, that's also a big, big fortune. I mean, in this Kali Yuga, because we are supposed to practice like, you know, it's the age we're supposed to practice this Sankirtan movement, you know, because there's no other way out. So even if one person is doing it, is really, really great. And if no one is doing, then the situation is just like we read, and you mentioned that, you know, the life is based on sense gratification. And actually, when I look back, I feel that, you know, in this Bhagvatam, every time I'm reading about this fact that, you know, how she was like, see, okay, she had a desire to, you know, like take a revenge with Indra, right? But for us, we can also have similar desires, which is not Krishna conscious, like, oh, you know what? I want to have a couple of children. I want the children should have company with each other, just like we are two. At least we should have four more. And then more enjoyment is there. You know, all those things are there. So all those things we were harboring inside of us before Krishna consciousness, you know, without realizing that it was such an empty, hollow life. And when we read Bhagavatam, every time I'm reading, I'm reflecting on my past. I mean, I said, oh my God, I was exactly like this. Srila Prabhupada is so great that he is actually putting forward my past. And I'm reading it and I'm like thinking, like, you know, it is so scary to be in that situation, you know. And so thank you so much, Mataji. Some reflections coming in the morning, and I'm getting back to, you know, reading Bhagavatam because of the wonderful classes. And like you mentioned at the beginning, it's very important, you know, like even if one person is there on the call, or two people, or however many, you know, we should take advantage and not think that few people are coming, because there are a couple of speakers which we book, you know, and they say very few people are coming, so they don't book only. So then I feel, I think that should, I don't want to point the speaker's name, but that should not be the attitude. It doesn't matter, you know, if even if one person is there, it's, you know, and there are many other living entities, of course, who are also imbibing this knowledge, who are so much in the mode of ignorance, so to say. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you once again. And it was very encouraging to hear about this one person practicing, because a person who's in that boat, no, there's a lot of balances we have to do. Like, I really want to do Bhakti Vriksha, call people over casually, but it's not possible to do that. So then, you know, I do other things which, you know, I can do, because I know our Guru Maharaj, he gave me one instructions. He said that you be a good example and make your family Krishna conscious. So that is my thing now. So if I make my family one by one little bit Krishna conscious, that's my preaching, you know, other than for other devotees where husband, wife are devotees, but they're preaching outside. So each of us has our own role. And I feel my role is that of a squirrel, you know, like in the Ramayana, where I can do a little, and then, you know, I'm sure Krishna, Guru Maharaj will accept whatever I'm doing, and, you know, making sure it's Krishna conscious. So thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much. All glories to Guru Maharaj and Krishna. If no questions and comments, we can conclude here, Mataji. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyaiva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Mantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Vanmalini Manjiri Mataji ki,
Manjiri Mataji ki jai.
Lord Nityananda ki jai. And jai to all the devotees on the call. Hare Krishna.